my ears. Oh.
Kind of loud, isn't it?
Very loud. Coming in hot today.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the listeners don't hear what we hear in these headphones.
They don't. That was loud. Is it going to sound that loud when people listen?
I hope not.
Jeez.
Bring it down a couple of decibels. That was...
At least.
Yeah, Zabbo coming in hot.
Coming in a little hot, fresh off a loop.
How was it?
Wasn't very good.
No.
You win some, you lose some. Today, I was on the losing end.
Sometimes you just got to know when to stay at home.
It's all right. I work every day. I don't take days off, and I accept bench jobs sometimes when I have it. You know, you get a lot of good ones off the bench that you meet new clients. I know you hate the word clients, but you meet new people that you caddy for very frequently off the bench. That's how you meet a lot of your new guys.
I was talking to the wife about this the other day, and although most of what I would do these days is sort of people calling me, at some point, however I met those people that I work for now, I either worked for them, I met them off the bench, or someone they know from the bench. So, you know, like that story I told you about Kyle and Marcus.
Yeah,
I met them off the bench, and it was a terrific job. And it's hit or miss, isn't it?
It is very hit and miss, the bench, but you know, it's more hit than miss. I take the good with the bad, and today happened to be a bad one, and we're gonna stop talking about it because I'm over it.
Well, one last thing about it. Was there anything good about it?
Yeah, it was fine. The only bad thing was the money. I mean, yeah. Sometimes that's all it takes. Great guys, but the money, that's what's so funny about their job. We can caddy for the biggest jerks, and they're mean to us the whole time, and then they tip us a lot of money, and it was a great loop. It was a fantastic day. Awesome. We'll see you tomorrow. It was great. Yeah. These guys, nicest guys in the world. They were happy with the service, but the fact that they paid me so little makes me feel bad about it. So over it, done with, it's fine.
I know a couple of caddies that you know very well as well, and they'll continue to work for the same guys, but their wages haven't increased.
Oh, God.
And they'll just, but they're really nice guys. And I'm like, well, if they're really nice guys, just tell them that you need paid more.
Correct. And I have done
killing
that.
Yourself.
I have done that. But, yeah, it's just, sometimes you're not on the winning end. And today, I wasn't. And they're playing tomorrow, and they're going to have somebody else, and they're going to get the same amount or less. And sorry about your luck.
I tell you what, a former podcast helper, I did ever tell you that a golfer asked me, we're back and forth about wages actually on Instagram, and he said that he was very happy with my helper. He called the other caddy my helper.
Gordon's little helper, like Santa's little helper.
I'm going to show you in the break. I'll show you the text thread.
Who is the helper?
I honestly, who was the helper?
Said he used to help with the podcast?
Oh man, I can't remember. No, but I was saying Neil, I used to do the podcast with, but I was like, what do you call him? Co-host.
Gotcha, co-host.
And the helper came out. I'm sorry.
Funny.
I struggle with the language sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
I've worked with Neil twice in the last 6 weeks.
I saw your name on request with him.
But it wasn't, they were independently put together.
Oh, really?
So, big group.
Gotcha.
And he's carried for the same people, and I've carried for the same people for years, and you end up getting stuck together.
Of course,
and
it happens.
It was great. You know, it's what the listeners have to understand is we work at a place with 3 golf courses and 400 caddies, and there is a seniority system. If you don't have a request, like Michael didn't have today, he had to go to his course and work for some random off the bench. There'll be guys that are above and below you in the seniority, and you sometimes never see them.
Correct. Sometimes you
6 months, a year.
You go. I've gone like 2, 3, 4 years without working from some guys, and then we work with them. You're like, hey, I haven't worked with you in years. Good to see you. And you talk to them all the time, but you just never work with them.
So that was the situation with the wee fella, wee Neil. I was out with him. Good laugh. Always a good laugh with Neil.
Mm-hmm. He is a character. He's funny.
But this past week, we had a job, and we're on the first tee, and we see a couple of the wives swarming.
Mm-hmm. Your favorite.
Which, as everyone, regular listeners know, it's a big no-no.
We'll just drive the carts.
Somebody told this joke. They said, "Why do married men have girlfriends? Because the girlfriends will do things that the wife won't, like come and watch us play golf." Right?
That's pretty funny.
So, I just don't get it. You have a place where you have a lovely spa, you have wine bars. You have the beach. You have the ocean.
You want to come out and watch your husband shoot 120? Like, get out of here.
I don't get it. I can understand on the big course you go 1, 2, 3, ta-ta.
Yeah.
Or I can see we'll meet you on 17.
Yeah. That's
last 2 holes.
acceptable, but walk the whole time.
The way the ladies were swarming, it was quite obvious they had like rucksacks on them. It was like they were
we're in it for the long haul.
And of course, we, Neil and myself, looking at each other, just going, we see where this is going. So twice in the first 3 holes, I had to hand them a head cover, a putt head cover and a driver head cover. Well, what's the first thing we do? As caddies, we're working off carts. We take the driver head cover off.
Yeah.
And then when you go to the green, we take the putter head cover off and we usually throw it in the cart somewhere. He's put it in the back. Well, the head covers have fallen out. Why? Because the women have put their bags in
the back, things around,
the back container. And we're just shaking our heads, thinking the same thing. And I say to my players, I know my players very well. And then we get to the 7th, and Neil's like, oh man, they've already been in the back of the cart 8 times. And then shortly after that, one of them wants to ride.
Of course they do.
So now Neil's in the back of his own cart.
Yeah.
Because if she's riding, the husband has to ride.
Yeah.
Because she can't walk she's not used to walking. So she can't walk the whole round. So she then says to him, oh, well you're not going to sit in the cart with me. So again, the whole thing. Now this was a situation where they had boxed lunches.
Nice.
So we're in one of the first groups. So the boxed lunches turn up on 13.
Okay.
And one of the wives, the brass neck on this is mind-blowing. So you have an event organizer who works for the charity, and then you have an employee of the resort who's driving the food around.
Yeah.
Now, if there's 40 golfers, how many boxed lunches do you think they're going to have?
40 would be logical.
There you go. So this one wife walks up to the employee and the worker for the charity. She says, oh, do you have any extra lunches for the walkers?
Walkers.
So she's now named herself a walker.
A walker.
For the walkers. Now, I'm obviously in earshot of the whole thing. And I just walk away in disgust.
Shaking your head, walkers.
Well, one of my players says, oh, listen, I'm only going to eat the meat, the cheese, and the tomato out of mine, so you can have the rest.
You can have the bread.
So basically, you can have the bread. You can have
a little seagull here.
What do they have? Like a little pasta dish, or
they usually have a pasta dish or a little salad.
And then there was a heavy hitter we carried for a couple of weeks ago, and there was a Caesar salad.
There you go.
And he's like, I want a Caesar salad. And it just went to get thrown into the bin. And we're like, well, you look like a salad kind of guy.
Yeah.
But they have that. They have a cookie.
Always some sort of dessert, or brownie sometimes, cookie. Yeah.
So our players, their husbands are playing. Now they feel obliged to give the food to the wives.
Of course, here we go.
My players end up giving their food to the wives. And
where does that leave the caddies in the equation?
Well, of course, it leaves us starving. But Neil and I thought, he talks under his breath, and he'll be like, "Oh, don't worry about your caddies, guys. It's okay. We'll just be starving here. Make sure to plump the women up, But from the 13th fairway to the end, they grazed. They sat in Neil's cart, both
barely
of them out,
eating,
leaving they're so invested in the sandwiches that they're 50, 60 yards behind. So he now can't do his job efficiently. Mm-hmm. And they ate the whole way to the end. They ate everything.
It's like
4 lunches.
Yeah. Wow.
Minus
there you go.
The turkey, cheese, etc. But I wish they'd be able to come on and tell that one, because it's just a brilliant when you're with another caddy that you know so well and you're in complete and utter synergy the way you're thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
So guys,
that happens a lot.
Ladies, stay at home. Go and get a massage.
Yeah.
Go and find a boyfriend.
Yeah, stay away from the course. You have no business being out here walking around. Why? Well, we talk about bench jobs, and we were just talking about bench jobs, and I talked about a bad one. I got to talk about a good one, and it's almost unbelievable who it was I caddied for. There was a question last podcast about our favorite types of groups to caddy for, and he was like, match play or stroke play, and I was like, well, my favorite type is a scramble. So I had this group. 4-person scramble, 4 caddy for 4, dream loop. We get out there, and the wife is a very good player. Like, she can hit it a long way. Husband's a decent player. The other 2 guys were hacks, but it's a scramble. So you got a couple people who can really hit it. They can kind of putt, so you're going to have an okay day. When you get like 4 terrible golfers, it's tough. They're 4 good golfers, so they're drinking, having fun. And we're on like the fourth hole, and I'm trying to get to know everybody. I'm like, so what do you do for a living? And you won't even believe this. I said, so what do you do for a living? And he says, well, honestly, I'm head of government relations for Chipotle.
Oh, no.
I said, my eyes lit up like you wouldn't believe. And I had it sounds made up. And this gentleman's name, and if you don't believe me, I want you to look him up because his name's Matt Foley, and I know he's probably going to listen to this podcast because I told him about my fascination and love for Chipotle and government relations for Chipotle. I'm like, boy, do I got to bend your ear for the next 5 hours. I'm like, we're going to hang out. We're going to talk some Chipotle, buddy. I'm like, Caddie Hospitality, let me tell you, they bring in the barbacoa. We need that carne asada. And he's like, I'm on top of it, Mike. I got you covered. So we did some work out there. I mean, the head of government relations, I didn't know it was a job. I said, you're accepting interns? Like, I'll come to work for you, bro.
Yeah, you have to lobby the government
it's
for people getting diarrhea.
So I tell him about the podcast and how we talk about Chipotle and all that. And he goes into his golf bag and he whips out these. He's like, for you and your co-host. Sorry, I already used yours up. He whipped out these 2 cards. These it was like this gold card that says free entree at Chipotle.
Oh, wow.
So I bring it down. My love of Chipotle continues. I bring it down to Chipotle the day I get it, of course, because I got to get a big thing of Chipotle. So I go up to receive my free Chipotle entree. So they're like, "What do you want?" I want the carne asada bowl. Yeah, extra steak, pile it on there. I'm like, let me get the
guacamole.
Guacamole, got the sour cream, I got everything on there.
Yeah.
So I'm figuring, it's going to cover the entree. It's not going to cover the extras, the guacamole and the sour cream and the everything I piled on top of it.
Gold card.
So I go in to turn it in, and the guy looks at it and he goes, "Whoa!" He goes, "I've never seen this before." He's like, "I'm not really sure how to scan this in." He's like, "Let me call somebody over here." So he calls the manager over. The manager calls him. The same thing. Like, "Oh man, dude. What is this?" He goes, "Where did you get this?" I'm like, I know some people at Chipotle, bro, like corporate executives, Chipotle. He's like, I've never seen one of these. So he's like, why don't we just scan it and see what happens? And I'm like, sounds good to me. I'm good. So he scans it, and I'm expecting, because I had like $6 of extra meat, and I was like, all right, all taken care of, good to go. I'm like, whoa. So, and then your card I used the next day. Sorry, it's gone.
Oh, so it wasn't like a $2,000 on it.
No, but so the funny thing was the first time he gave me the card back after I did it. The second time was a different manager, and again they called the manager over because that different crew had never seen it, and they took the card the second time. I'm like, so if you have one of those cards, will it work over and over? He's like, I'm not sure, but it says on this card like we're supposed to take it after we receive it. So I still have that other card. Maybe I'll try again.
Try again.
But Matt Foley, it was a pleasure caddying for you. Good to know. I now have an in with government relations with Chipotle. And what a dream loop. I mean, they just drank all day, had fun, and I got some free Chipotle about it. And he gets it. I texted you during it like, oh, there's your tip right there. But
no, he gets it.
He gets it. He took care of me handsomely.
I was involved in that.
You were, yeah. It was the same. It was a big food group, yeah.
You're right. The scramble job is
such a dream. Gold. Such a dream.
It really is. That's probably the best format a caddy could ever hope for.
It is. I mean, what's better? You literally get. I mean, if you're really trying to do a job, you gather the balls. But a lot of caddies, probably you too, you just have them get their own ball.
No.
You pick up their balls, but you bring them to one spot. You're giving one number. You're giving one read. I mean, and maybe 2 reads if you misread the first one. You adjust it a little bit, but you have 4 chances, and it's fun because typically, if they're halfway decent, they can score. So they're posting a good number. Everybody feels good. It's easy for us, and it's fun for us. Mm-hmm. We enjoy them.
The opposite would be the 4 caddy for 4. And I had one where 3 of them played. So one guy's going to play the blues, one guy's going to play the golds, and 2 are going to play the white.
And they're all playing their own ball, and they want to hole out everything.
So you have 3 different numbers.
Yeah, 3 different target lines. Yeah.
Hole. So I spoke to another caddy, and he actually had a 4 caddy for 4, and it was blue, gold, white, and red.
It's crazy.
Which that's torture.
4 caddies in general, I don't like them It's like my least favorite job, but 4 caddy for 4 scramble, my most favorite job. Yes. So it's like 4 caddies are just tough to give a good level of service when you have to give 4 different numbers, 4 different reads. It's just it's tough.
Did you tell Foley that I'm not a fan of Chipotle?
He probably thinks you got that other card and actually ate some. I knew you weren't going to eat it. So it was 2 nights in a row. Chipotle, it was delicious.
Oh, fantastic!
The carne asada Chipotle bowl, it's so good. And another funny tidbit. So I was like, so how long? He's like, well, I've been in the role for a couple of years now. And I was like, oh, so you work for McDonald's Corporation? He goes, I'm glad you asked that because that is a misconception. People think that Chipotle is owned by McDonald's. He said they were a very small investor. Chipotle is its own entity. It is not owned by McDonald's at all. It's not a McDonald's corporation deal. FYI, in case you were
absolutely blown away by that knowledge.
Keep
Thank
scoring
you.
up at night, but
yeah, you're right. I haven't been able to sleep for a while about that one. That one I was telling you about. I worked with Neil the previous day. I have these lads, Wee Paul and John, Wee Paul and Big John, actually.
Wee Paul and Big John.
Wee Paul and Big John.
Okay.
The golf was pretty shite.
Shocking.
We gave Paul a few tips, and actually Paul started striping the ball.
Nice.
We played on the Wednesday, and up here at Black Horse, and I gave him, I think, 9 or 10 strokes, and he absolutely hosed us.
Gotcha.
All of a sudden, a guy that was a 12 turned into
something clicked.
A lot, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it happens.
However, I don't know if you've ever done this one, but the putting was a real issue at the wee course, like really struggling. Paul couldn't get the ball to the hole, and John, the hole could have been a basketball hoop, and he still wasn't making anything.
Really?
So I took the decision to swap putters.
Wow, you swapped. So you gave one guy the other guy's putter.
I exchanged putters, and they both used each other's putters. And on the back 9, or the 10 holes,
started making putts.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
never seen like it.
I think I've said it before. If everything's not working, change it. Everything.
Change it.
If nothing is working, change everything.
It worked. And what did they do the next day? Went back to their own putters.
No, so it missed everything.
That was really interesting.
Yeah.
It just
sometimes you got to do that.
It really does. I think maybe you focus a little more on the stroke.
Yeah, you're uncomfortable with the equipment, so you're actually paying attention. So we had another tournament. It was they play every year. They are affiliated with the military, and I think actually you work that tournament too because you're actually a little part of this story.
Okay. And a little part, lovely.
You are a little part. So the first day, hit it off great. Troy Bumgardner and myself caddy for you guys. We hit it off great. They played in it for like 8 years and never had the same caddy. So we're figuring, the money's probably not good. And but they, they was like, you guys come with us tomorrow. I'm like, well, I can, but I have a doctor's appointment, so I'm not going to be there. No, this wasn't a joke, actually. Oh. You think this is the setup for the pay. This is not actually. I was actually being honest this time. I legitimately had a doctor's appointment. I was like, because there wasn't much work the next day. I was going to go with them regardless. I knew it was going to be okay, because you could tell it was going to be okay. Turned out to be phenomenal. But they were like, got to be with us tomorrow. I'm like, I have a doctor's appointment. It's at 8:30. It was a 9:00 shotgun. I was like, I'm not going to be there. I can come, but I'm not going to be there till you're probably 1 or 2 holes in. They're like, we don't care. Just show up when you can. Troy was like, I'll cover it. All good. I'll show up. So, my doctor's appointment was pretty quick. I race in. I see the carts. I park where I shouldn't have by the spa there at the big course. And I see the carts going out. So that's where at the end you saw me illegally parked. And so I see the carts going out, and I see my guys going out, and I try to yell at them, no, don't go without me, So they go off. Anyways, really good time. We had a blast. They ended up winning the tournament. Oh. On the last hole, Troy's guy, from like 160 yards, we teed off. 10 was our starting hole, so we had to get shuttled way out there. I had to have the marshal drive me out there. Met him right before they teed off. On the last hole, Troy's guy from 160 yards or something was crazy. It was straight downwind. Hits a 9-iron. As soon as it hit the green, Troy and I both go in. It was tracking towards the pin, hauling towards the pin, hit it right square, went in. We won by 1 shot. He made a 2 on the 9th hole at the big course. Tough hole.
Wow. From 180?
He was like 165, but it was straight downwind.
Yeah, he's probably telling it was 195.
So anyways, we're driving. Yeah, exactly. By the time it got sold, so they send us a picture later. They win the tournament. Good for them. Great. So we're driving in, and I see you when I'm getting in my car, and you're like, "Oh, parking over here," yelling at me, and so. We haven't mentioned on the podcast recently, as of late, I've been Ubering a little more.
Yeah.
My tax guy made a little fudge, and we owed a little more money than I thought we would this year, so I'm trying to recoup it with Uber. So anyway, I log into the Uber right away, as we do. So this is a shotgun. We're all finished. Everybody's finished. So everybody's finishing roughly at the same time, and they all have to walk up the hill. Not Zabbo, illegally parked. So I get a ride. Where's it from? The first tee at the big course.
Oh, beautiful.
So where are all the caddies walking from back to their car?
The first
tee at the big course. What does all the caddies expect? Our parking lot's a half mile away. We always come down to get the next guy in line. So my guy wasn't a caddy. He was just going into Carmel. I'm going to pick up an Uber ride, and he's sitting at the bottom of the hill. I see him chatting with two veteran caddies, and the caddies see me there. And they're like, "Oh, yes." The eyes get real big. Zabbo's coming to pick us up. Let's go, buddy. Let's go to the top of the hill. And the guy's getting in the car. The other guy, my Uber passenger, and the other two caddies are trying to get in the car. And he's like, "What is going on here?" And I'm like, yo, you guys have to back off. I'm giving them a ride somewhere else. And they back up, and I drive off, and they're standing there like little puppy dogs with their eyes. And I'm trying to explain. The guy gets in. He's like, "What's that all about?" And I'm like, "Well, I caddy out here. They're expecting me to give them a ride up the hill." He's like, "Yeah," he stood there. He's like, "Yeah, somebody will come down to get us soon." He thought he was giving everybody a ride up the hill, but it was comical how it all went down. And sorry, boys, didn't give you right up the hill, but Taxman's calling. Got to make that calling.
April 15's, coming soon.
It is.
Did your boys next year? Are you going to work for them next year?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. They got the cards, and we're going to shout them out at the end here. They were great guys.
You need to remember then the story. It was 165.
See what it is.
See what it is next year.
Yeah. We're gonna mention that.
See if that goes like 200 yards or something, right?
Troy's gonna remember that too, because that was so much fun. Yeah.
Right. Well, we need to take a wee break now, Zabbo, and then we're gonna move on to some questions and shoutouts.
All right.
So, Michael, episode 151. Also, this would be my 31st year caddying now. Yours, you're about 20 something.
22, I think. What
22?
year is it? 2003, 22.
And we have news that there's a very exclusive private course not far from here. And
there is.
We're going to be doing some caddying there.
We are. We're not going to mention it on the podcast, but we're both pretty excited about it.
Okay, we've got to go and do shadow loops.
We do. I know. It's. We've talked about it. It's tough to walk courses without getting paid.
I know, yeah.
Maybe there'll be a little bit of grease. A little bit of grease from players.
but
a little bit of grease.
You're never too experienced to go and learn it from.
Correct.
And no one's any different. You still have to get your shadow loops in. So we'll keep you posted. It's a private club, different from what we're not used to, but should still be.
We're ready.
Should be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're new to the podcast, there's 150 previous episodes. You can also follow us on social media. Go to the Twitter, Instagram, YouTube as well, because there is going to be some YouTube content as of beginning of May.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but I've been in the process of cleaning the decks. I sometimes can't see the wood for the trees.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being a golfer and being stuck in the trees, and you see that little
opening.
Oh yeah, I can hit it through there.
It, yeah.
I can hit it through there. No, you can't. Just chop the woods down, chop the forest down, and then you can actually move forward. Yep. So that's good stuff. And if you want to support what we're doing, go to the website glorifieddonkey.com, and you can buy us a beer by clicking the link. Have some questions here, Mike.
All right, let's go.
If you could guarantee any part of your golf game every time, i.e., like a superpower, what aspect would it be? That comes from Puff Daddy in New York.
Literally, it came from Puff Daddy?
People with a sense of humor, Zabbo.
Is that where his jail is? I mean, is he in New York? Maybe he did. Maybe he's a listener.
Puff Daddy. So if you'd like a superpower,
that's an excellent question. That's an excellent question. Well, we know it's not my chipping because I'm a phenomenal chipper. That's already a guarantee. Yeah. So.
Better than as good as any PGA Tour player.
I mean, if you could guarantee me that I'm spot on with my putting every time, bring it. Putting, hands down.
I'd take middle of the fairway to 80 every single time. Put me in the middle of the fairway.
280 every time.
Sort of 80% of my max.
Yeah.
I think I would probably take that. Because then you can work on the other stuff, like getting good distance but accuracy at the same time.
So like really you could swing as hard. Well, so if you got a superpower, your superpower is swing as hard as you want. You'd be middle of the fairway anyways.
But you see, superpower can't be, I'm going to single putt every single green. I just can't see that.
Be pretty super to me.
Or, okay, I'll do this one. From inside 100, I knock it to gimme every single time, like the pros do.
Yeah, they don't knock it to gimme every single time, but
they don't. But
proximity inside 10 feet, yeah, I'd take that.
That's
every time.
It's actually a pretty good question there.
Yeah, that's a great question. Good one, Puff.
Good luck, Puff. If you need a lawyer, a really good one.
Yeah,
we don't know anyone.
Nothing's getting out of this one, Puff. Sorry. Yeah.
Recently, Zabbo mentioned his favorite golf movie was Happy Gilmore. Correct?
Yes, I did say that.
You did say that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Here we go. Here we go.
Have you ever had a Happy Gilmore moment on the course yourself, or witnessed a player have one when caddying? And that's from Brendan Q in Reno, Nevada. Have you ever had a Happy? So I've never watched it.
Well, the best Happy Gilmore is when he gets in a fight with Bob Barker. Yes, we talked about this on the podcast when the old man kicked the dude in the chest. It was like, "What's up? You want a piece of me, old man?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, I do want a piece of you." Boom! Knocked him out.
Mr. Miyagi. Is that it? Happy Gilmore or?
Yeah, that was Happy Gilmore. He fought Bob Barker. Bob Barker's like, "You're playing like shit. Like, come on, where are you?" He's like, "You better relax, Bob. Easy there, Bobby." And then Bob goes, "You couldn't hit anything." And he goes, "Now you're going to get it, Bobby," and knocks him out. And then Bob Barker actually comes back and beats his ass.
Okay, so that was it.
Yeah, that was it. There you go. There's your Happy Gilmore moment.
I've come close. I don't think I've gotten into a fight. But I do think it's amusing when you're on the course how aggressive people do get.
They puff up their chest when you hit into them. Yeah,
it really is. It's a bizarre thing that everyone's out there doing the same thing, but there's so much animosity towards your sort of brethren. It's so territorial.
It is very territorial. A lot of you want to protect your players when
Well, that's another thing is I noticed recently was with the marshals. And I find myself.
I protect my players with the marshals all the time, especially when certain marshals are coming around.
Yeah, you guys are slow, and it's like, well, hold on a second. I've learned just ignore them, or be like, yeah, sure, yeah, cool.
Sometimes
or when they say to us, "Can you pick it up?" No. That's what annoys me. I'm like, here, go and speak to them.
Well, you like a lot of the marshals that I dislike. You think they do like when they start caddying for your players. I love
no problem with that whatsoever. Yeah. I think that's
I know, which is ridiculous because they shouldn't be telling your players what to do anywhere.
Why not? Like, just let them mess it up. If the player really wants the information from you, wait. But I like it's obviously your information.
They're showing initiative.
But again, it's like caddies that don't want you talking to their players.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Don't want you raking his bunkers. Don't want to help. No. Don't rake my bunkers. Don't read any of those pots if you're in the bunker. It's like, come on, bro. We're just helping each other out.
When I'm out there, I see it as a team.
Exactly. Exactly.
And don't get inferior about my players. But so that's the Happy Gilmore is some sort of fight on the golf course. Yeah, we've talked to him before. Obviously, myself and that lad Marcus, I don't think it would have come to blows, but I'm certainly not going to stand there and have someone talk that way to me or anyone else. So no, I don't think so. Like I can't. I thought he was going to say, what's the one where he keeps on dropping the ball and hitting more and more into the sea? Is that the Kevin Costner one?
Into the pond. Yeah, that's Tin Cup.
Tin Cup.
Yeah,
I thought that was going to be the. But again, I don't think I've ever watched Tin Cup all the way through either.
That's a good movie. That's a good movie. Cheech as his caddy is just legendary. Yeah,
I probably have to watch both of those movies. Anything Adam Sandler though is painful.
Yeah, stuff has. I mean, he just churns them out as a factory now. But there's some funny ones.
The worst Adam Sandler movie?
Going Overboard is first.
No, Jack and Jill, because he plays both characters.
I did actually. That's one of the few I haven't seen.
I didn't watch it either, but anyway, we digress. Last year, I played in a charity golf event and was given a wedge. I use it through guilt, but I don't particularly like it. If you were given free clubs, would you play with them? And that's from a John Presley in Thomasville, North Carolina. So I see that all the time, yes.
I change my clubs like I change my underwear. Not very often.
Not very often.
No, I mean, I have to.
The clubs are as dirty as underwear as well. You need to get one of those wire brushes to get the muck off.
That's funny. No, but no, no. If I win a club, unless it's something I've really had my eye on, no, I stick with the clubs that I know that I like to play. There's no chance I'm switching to a one club unless. Or a charity club, unless I really fall in love with it.
Yeah. No, you will see a lot of people with, oh yeah, I won this wedge.
Yeah.
And you just, honestly, if you win a wedge or you're giving it, just if you don't like it, sell it, give it away. Because
exactly.
I actually think companies doing that at their charity events is it's lazy.
Yeah, it's the easy out. Yeah, we'll spend a little money and give them something that they really don't need.
Yeah, there's 120 guys here. We'll buy everyone a 56 degree, Callaway wedge, and we'll put our logo on it. But nobody wants that. They want a big skins game. They want it closest to the pin. They want good presents type thing, or a
nice Scotty Cameron putter,
a free bar, right?
Yeah,
good food. Invest more money in the food. Don't have Chipotle there.
Unless we're talking to Matt Foley. Matt Foley's got us dialed in.
He's got you dialed in. But if I were given free clubs, so for example, I think say TaylorMade. If you gave me a set of TaylorMades, I wouldn't use them. I literally wouldn't.
Really?
No, because I really like what I have.
Yeah, I hear you. If you find a winner,
one of those new QI10s or the
AI Smoke, bro.
AI Smoke, bro. They have a new one by it's called the QI35. I just saw it.
QI30. Oh, the TaylorMade. Yeah.
And I think they sound cheap, and I think they are cheap.
Yeah,
the inserts come out and stuff. I would never switch that for what I use.
Find the driver you like. We've talked about that. People buy this new technology every year, but when you have one that works and you hit it consistent, they're not adding 8-10 yards every single year.
Yeah. Well, I think that McIlroy actually mentioned this a couple of weeks ago about the detrimental effect it has that he's having to use new technology every year. He's contracted. Now, here's the thing, Rory. Don't take the money.
Yeah. Well, he also said, they asked him, what's your best driver of all time? And he said it was clearly the he said M1 or M2. He's like, the M2, I would go back to that in a heartbeat.
He should.
Yeah.
Just go back to it.
Exactly.
It really... change your contract, because I think that Colin Montgomery probably didn't win a major because he was constantly changing parts.
Yeah, there you
go.
If
you look at someone like Mickelson or you look at Tiger Woods always did the same.
Always.
He always used what he wanted to use. So, given free clubs, no, I would not play with them. And you should never use something through guilt. Honestly, I always tell people this as well. If you have a golf club in your bag that you do not like and you don't bring it,
it's crazy.
Replace it with something you do
everybody
like.
does it. Yeah.
You're absolutely killing yourself.
People are ridiculous.
Amateur golfers absolutely make so many correctable mistakes before they even step on the golf course.
Agreed.
Word on the street is that Spanish Bay Golf Links is getting redesigned in 2026. With that in mind, what would be your fantasy golf design? And that's from P. Lee in Palo Alto, California.
I would say anything that Gil Hanse would ever design. And who did they hire? They hired Gil Hanse to redesign it. I think it's going to be phenomenal. Gil Hanse designed probably my favorite golf course in the world, which is Boston Golf Club. It's a Gil Hanse original. He does a lot of redesigns. He redid LACC before the Open. He's renowned for good reason. He does great work, and I think he's gonna build a masterpiece out here.
Does he use his hands?
Gil Hanse, he does. Yes, he's very hands-on.
My fantasy golf design would be stand in a tee, see everything ahead of you. Fewer bunkers, but a bunker becomes a real hazard. One shot penalty if you hit it in it.
Like more penalizing bunkers.
Yeah, real penalizing bunker. Large, expansive greens with subtle breaks.
Yeah.
Good shots are rewarded. Bad shots are punished. and try and get as much on the ocean, bring the landscape in as much as you can, wherever you are. A bit like building a house. You know, the house should sort of merge with the landscape as opposed to standing out. You know what I mean?
It's well put. And honestly, that's exactly what Gilhans is known for, exactly what you just said. So other than maybe the not seeing everything in front of you off the tee, but
the blind
it's
stuff.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
The blind stuff for me, absolutely a no. Not interested in that. I think they'll be struggling at Spanish Bay. They have to keep the same route.
They do. They're going to reroute a few things as far as par 4s and par 5s. They're going to change, from what I understand, they're going to change. 13 will be a par 4, and then the par 3 will be after that on the ocean there.
Okay.
Which is going to be good. I mean, he's going to do a good job.
I do know someone that's seen the plans, so I'll maybe see if we can get privy to them.
There you go.
But he certainly ain't going to text them to me.
Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
Because he knows I'll share that.
Let's take a peek.
So anyway, there we go. If you have any questions you want to send in, please send them in podcast@glorifieddonkey.com, or you can send them in on social media. Just search for Glorified Donkey. Need to get to the shoutouts, Zabbo. That time already.
We do need to get to the shoutouts. I got to shout out a few people, actually. Well, most importantly, I got to shout out Matt Foley. Matt, you're my boy. Government Relations from Chipotle. Loved it, Matt. That was a lot of fun. And your wife, Natalie. It was a pleasure having you guys. A lot of fun. That was a fun day. Got to shout out that group in that tournament for the military. Got to shout out Joe Clark, Gundo. You know who you are. Riley, Joe's son, and Pete, who made the hole out from 165 yards. We'll see what it is next year when he comes back when we ask him. But Pete, what a shot, man. That was phenomenal. Pete was a good player.
I think my guys won one of those events as well.
Yeah, there was like day money. Yeah, there was day money. My guys were like, oh, well, at least we'll win the day money because they played really well and they ended up winning the whole thing.
We played horribly the next day. Well, sorry, they.
I wasn't a part of that. I was a part of their good shots, but not their bad.
There's only so much work you can do with the clay. So, shout outs to Justin Wallace, bought some beers.
Justin Wallace.
Yeah, Jay Wallace. He says cheers.
Good. Thank you, Justin.
And also your boy Dave Thompson. Cheers, boys. Hope all is well. Dave Thompson. Yeah. DT.
We talked about him a few episodes ago.
Yeah. We talked about him.
I didn't
on his course. I can't believe he's buying his beers after you poo-pooed his course.
Bolingbrook is a great golf course. They have a fantastic live event. It's phenomenal. And, honestly.
Hold on. You described it as a quote-unquote a rinky-dink public
good memory. Good track. Memory. I'll give you that much. But the live players last year, everybody was like, they're going to go out there and tear that course apart. They did not tear that course apart.
It was already torn up by what you say about it.
That's funny. But no, they didn't tear the course apart. It was a good challenge for him. And it'll be a good challenge for him this year, too. So, Bolingbrook, look it up.
And my last shout goes to Teddy from Monterey. You know who you are. Who having breakfast at the club. And a friend of mine 5-putted once. So this is ridiculous. I'm in for a 7. He's in the green in 2. And I said, 5 putts for a half. And he, from 6-8 feet, he 5-putted.
Nice.
His first putt went from, it was like a 6-footer, it went to 40 because he went down the hill and then he didn't go up the hill and then did it. It was
been there, buddy.
And Teddy tried to justify that. He tried to justify a 5-putt. I was like, I can't believe you're actually trying to
justify a 5-putt. Yeah.
That's absurd.
Unjustifiable.
Okay, Zabbo. That's another episode finished. Episode 151.
We did it. We're done.
Off to Uber for you now.
Gotta pay the tax, man.
Pay the tax,
April 15th around the corner. Gotta get them paid.
As I say, episode 151. There's a previous 150 if you're new. Many thanks for listening. Get out, enjoy your golf. But more importantly,
keep it humble.